Are you going to rotate positions now?
Yeah, we probably need to. That just was some.
Those.
Maybe we'll speak or something. Yeah, but thank you for doing what you have to do. Yeah. Thanks. That's great.
Okay.
So I was kind of aware of sort of being in a kind of tense but like relaxed place. I mean, it was kind of interesting. I felt like there was parts of me that were extending right to the edge, and then I would sort of relax into those places, and it sort of made me aware of this kind of internal sense of, can I be tense and relax at the same time? Can I push myself and also be in a let go? Sounds very aware of breathing, sort of wanting to out-breath more than in-breath, which I think is connected to sort of this desire to sort of relax rather than to stimulate, but at the same time where I was feeling every muscle in my body was working in some way. Trying to keep a sense of balance, but very aware of, can I let myself lose my balance? So that whole challenge. And then when I felt a hand, it was like an invitation to sort of stretch. And initially I was sort of playing around with, do I allow myself to be supported by that hand? Do I follow that hand? And then the kind of way in which I felt sort of this connection of movement and a sort of a natural wrapping, and then sort of back to back with arms extended was quite wonderful, because it felt like there was a part of me that was really open and sort of vulnerable, but then there was another part of me that was very sort of nurtured and held, like having my back. You had my back, and it was great.
Thanks. So I started off by just following what I saw you doing as a way to just get into it. And I was definitely distracted knowing that there was a camera, and I can feel that now. But it was actually really helpful to follow what you were doing, and in those moments I just entered my somatic experience. I just felt that I was with you and starting to get a sense of what it was like in your body. And I saw you reaching, and I believe you were curling forward. And for the sake of the video, I was trying to think, how can I interact? Mm-hmm. But you can't force that. So I was really just letting you do your movement until I really felt like I understood how an interaction might support. Mm-hmm. And I probably still did go faster than I would have in an actual practice. But I saw your hand, and I kind of moved around you. I went to the back, I was in the front, and I was really drawn to this particular hand. I think it was your right hand. And as it was reaching out, I had my hand near yours, and I was wondering when the contact was going to happen. And when it did, I imagined that you were okay with it. And so I stayed there, and I felt like we were both really listening into what was going to happen with this contact. And yeah, I kind of felt a little bit like I was providing a counterbalance for you to lean from and then also reach into. I should just slow down. I feel a little rushed inside. I felt touched to touch your hand. I don't know you very well. And it felt nice to feel that welcome to touch you. And as you kind of stood up, I wasn't sure if I should keep counterbalancing and keep moving away from you as you were moving towards me, or kind of come in. And I played with that a little bit, and I eventually just let you move towards me. I didn't move away. And then it was interesting to feel the way that it just naturally spiraled and I was behind you. And I could have stayed there a long time. I just said ding because I knew the workshop was about to happen. So thank you.
It was very unusual. I very often, it's very often distracting or difficult for me to come in contact with other movers.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware of, because of a tendency to want to take care of the other mover, you know,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Sort of protect the other mover, to anticipate. And in my life right now, the major issue is about this very thing, about, you know, boundaries, you know, where aggression is used, to, all those kind of things. And
Say
so,
more. What are those things?
well, first of all, locating one center outside of someone's. And so that can be functional in work I do, but it's not functional in all of life, you know.
Yeah.
So finding a way to sort of speak to my own needs first, and to not interpret that as an abandonment or an attack on somebody else. That's sort of coming from the self. And so very often it gets enacted in authentic movement where either somebody is like on top of me, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm struggling to get out from under, or I'm in contact and I'm struggling with, now it's about them and
Right.
not about me.
Right.
But this was very different. I mean, something was really different in this interaction around that. And I like to think that I've made a great transformation, you know, it just happened to walk in and this was the perfect
Yeah.
enactment of it. But,
Okay.
it's sort of, I'm sort of interested too because you had your eyes open, so I suspect that there's a different relation, a
There
very
is.
different interaction that happens in that situation where there's a different role as opposed to the same role, which I think
Exactly.
is more around the struggle. So it's more in the in a therapeutic situation, you're not there to take care of the person, even though you very often do as a
Right.
patient, etc. So.
Right. Exactly. So it's another specific role to just tease out more of what happens when we're just in the soup of life. And by playing all the different roles, we get to flesh them all out and feel them all inside of us.
Right.
But there's something about the distinction between those roles that I think is a nice step to figuring out authentic contact.
Right, yeah, authentic contact, that's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so two strangers having what in all likelihood would have taken us quite a long time to
Right.
get to this conversation, you know,
Yeah.
had we were just standing around.
Right.
Yeah,
So thank you very
Yes.
much. Yes.
likewise.
Yes. All right.